Part 1. Hello, welcome back to Journeyteaches. Today I'm here to talk about the admission process of OP Jindal Global University for Liberal Arts. It's the #1 private university for law in India, but I haven't applied there for law. I had applied for Liberal Arts and Humanities program, and I got selected there. If that makes me eligible to talk about this topic, and because I have certain experience with me, so listen till the end. OP Jindal is a private university which is located in Sonipat, and it is very easy to track in terms of other courses except law. I don't know about the law courses, but because it's a private university, it's easy to track. So the very first step is going to Google and search for JGU or OP Jindal. Just write OP Jindal, search through the program, read about the different kinds of programs. Here I am to talk about liberal arts and humanities. Just remember that this university has liberal arts and humanities. There is no science education, there is no science courses in this. Otherwise, universities like Ashoka or Flame, they have liberal arts and sciences courses, but OP Jindal has liberal arts and humanities. Just remember this. Okay, so moving further, the course preference is BA Honours in Liberal Arts and Humanities. So the application procedure goes like, you have to type in your personal details like your name, mobile number, email ID, and these are all the general details which are very easy and obvious. So next is the parents' details and name, mobile number, email address, occupation, company name, company address, company telephone number, designation, and annual income in lakhs. These are the parents' details. Consult with your parents and to fill in very wisely. Next are the address details, which is address, town or city, district, state and country name, and then PIN code, permanent and communication address. They can be similar as well. Next comes the education details, which is you have to fill in your 12th, school, country, state, district, city, and then institution name, your board, marking scheme, which will be in percentage or CGPA, whatever it is, and percentage or CGPA, of course. Then the year of passing. Okay. Then there is an option which is which competitive examination have you appeared or intend to appear for, which can be JSAT, SAT scores, or ACT or LSAT India, whatever is the case. So if you have your SAT and ACT scores, then you do not need to give the JSAT. But if you don't have those scores, then you need to register for JSAT separately, and JSAT will be held online. You have to fill in JSAT result, which is awaited. Okay, in the name of the exam you have to fill in JSAT, and registration number will be in place of the registration number. You have to write awaited. Okay, you have to select awaited. So then comes the extracurricular details, which is have you participated in any extracurricular activities, and yes, then you have to write about you can write about 5 to 6 activities in total. Then comes the extracurricular details, that is, have you participated in any extracurricular activities? Yes, and then you have to write, you can state 5 to 6 activities. So you have to write the name of the institute, the position or award given to you, and total time spent. And the total time spent in with that in bracket, it was written in years. So don't be confused if you have done anything or any kind of internship for a few weeks or a few months, then you can write 1 in each column. So don't be confused about that, it doesn't matter much. Then further comes the supplement question, which is how did you come to know about us? So you can write online websites or anything of your choice, it doesn't matter. If you are mentioning online or website, you need to specify the name as well. So just write OP Jindal website. Next is the SOP, which is statement of purpose. There isn't any separate PDF to be attached, but there are supplement questions and you have to answer each one of them, and there is a certain word limit, so make sure that you make your answers short and crisp, to the point answers, because you can't exceed the word limit. Okay, there is a word limit of 150 words, so you have to limit your answers to that. There are certain number of questions listed. The first question is, why do you want to study or choose BA Honours in Liberal Arts and Humanities program, and what do you think makes you suitable for that program? So this is the very first question, and you have to form your answers. The next question, the second question is, if you go back in time or into your favorite book and meet your favorite character, who would that be and what your day with them would be like? You can frame your answers accordingly. Think upon and form a Word document and just copy paste the answers there. Think wisely before you submit these answers. So the third question is, you join the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities and you go home for the winter holidays. At home, some confused visiting relatives ask you what liberal arts is and why are you doing that, as opposed to a traditional higher education option. Tell us your answer. So you have to answer accordingly, that what would you try to explain your confused relatives who are unknown with liberal arts, who don't know about liberal arts, and why should you do liberal arts as compared to a traditional conventional degree choice. So what is your reason? What is that one thing or that number of reasons that you would like to explain to them? So the next question is, after graduation, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And then the last question, there were total 5 questions. So the fifth question is, what are your expectations from the Liberal Arts and Humanities program at JSLH? JSLH is the Jindal School of Liberal Arts and Humanities. So the last section of the application includes the letter of recommendation, LOR. You have to write the first name, the last name, relationship with the recommender, email ID, organization, designation, phone number, and how long have you known the recommender. So make sure you have all these details. Make sure you have an active recommender, because the recommender needs to verify and submit the LOR on his or her own, and the student will only be notified that your recommender has submitted the LOR. So make sure you have an active one who can surely do the task within a limited period of time. So make sure your bonding is good with them and make sure you choose the one wisely. Then there's a simple declaration, and then yes, you are done with the application procedure. Oh, how can we forget the fees? So the Jindal application is really expensive, and the fees is 3044 Indian rupees. Thank you. Here's an extra tip. You need to form a separate email ID for all the college conversations, because make sure any crucial information does not get mixed up with your usual emails. Then after you are done with the application procedure, you have submitted your application, you will receive the confirmation as well on your registered email ID. Make sure you remember and note down the email ID, the password, and the application number. And then there's an unknown screening process which wasn't mentioned anywhere in the application. I was surprised myself as well. So after you have submitted your application, after 2 or 3 days or maximum within a week after you have completed and submitted your application, you will receive a telephonic interview call. Sorry. Where was I? So after you have completed your application and submitted your application, you will receive an unknown interview call which is included in the screening process. So you will receive a call by one of the members of the admission team, and I received a call from a lady and she asked me questions from within my application only. whatever I have written in my application. She asked me questions based upon that. So do read your application once it's submitted, and do remember whatever is written, and do make sure that you are able to speak upon those topics and you are able to speak upon that. So one of the questions that she asked was to tell about my city. So the screening process, which was my number one interview, she asked me questions, general questions. Tell me about yourself, what do you do, tell me about your city, whatever achievements and internships and whatever extracurriculars I've mentioned in my details. She asked me questions based upon those. And then general questions were there. What do your parents do? What does your mother do? What does your father do? What value do you get from their occupation? And what value do you get from their occupation? And how do you connect that to liberal arts? Mainly, why do you want to study liberal arts? And what is your purpose behind studying liberal arts? And then at the end, she looked impressed and she looked happy, and she informed me regarding the faculty member interview, which was the professional telephonic interview by JGU. It was also kind of professional because it was from the admissions team, but the second interview for OP Jindal was from a faculty member, a professional interview, which was after a week or so. The team will tell the timings or so, the day will be told as well, and the interviews are very punctual. They are on point, on time. So be punctual yourself as well, and all the other necessary details will be instructed through emails as well. So you can expect the screening call just after you have submitted your application, within 3 to 4 days or within a week maximum. So be ready for that. And it's unknown, so make sure you pick unknown numbers. So make sure you pick calls from unknown numbers, because I wasn't used to. So make sure you do pick up, and otherwise your application would not be processed further. And this screening call, the information regarding this screening call will not be given prior. It will also not be indicated through emails as well. So it's very unknown. It was a surprise call for me. I immediately ran to a silence corner and then just answered the questions very confidently, and just be present in that moment with your presence of mind, with your open mind. Just answer those questions. It will be easy. They will be easy, and no worries. Now I'm going to talk about JSAT, Jindal Scholastic Aptitude Test. The admission team will convey you through your registered email ID that when do you need to register for JSAT. You need to register for JSAT separately. JSAT application fees is separate, and JSAT registration fees is also separate. It's not included in the application fees. In the application fees or in the application procedure, the registration for JSAT is not included. Okay, remember this. Just be aware about this, because without JSAT you will not be able to get in there. So the website link will be conveyed through your email. There's a different website, Pearson View, for registration for JSAT, and you have to fill in the necessary details like the name, your address, your state and your country, and they will ask for the email ID as well. So you can type in the same email ID as used in the application procedure. String for JSAT is rupees 864. Rupees 864 is the price for registration for JSAT. The language is English, and the exam length is 135 minutes, and you can choose in your own preferred date and time. So appointment is the day and the time. Location will be online, and just note down the registration ID, the order number, all the necessary things, and then you can close. I did not have my SAT or ACT scores, so I applied for JSAT, and JSAT exam was a little tricky. It wasn't easy, and it wasn't as difficult as so. The English portion was easy. The quantitative portion, the maths portion was a little tricky. General knowledge was a little tough, and then the logical reasoning was okay, medium. So all in all, it was a middle level exam. It wasn't difficult, but it wasn't as easy as anything. There was a cutoff score as well, so do check the cutoff score, and I was managed to make it through. For taking JSAT, make sure you have your application number, make sure you have your identity proof, because you have to click your photo and you have to click the photo with your identity proof as well, and the camera will be on throughout the examination, and there will be no human proctor, there will be AI proctoring, and you can see your footage as well along with the questions. So enjoy seeing yourself if that holds true for you.